Hello, my wonderful art students. It's so good to have you join me today on this rainy day so we could finish up or continue working on our Golden Eagle drawing. I'm so proud of all of you who are posting your pictures to Google Classroom. Thank you. Keep up the good work. And some of you are so hard on yourself. It's so terrible, Mrs. Peters. Yours looks great. Trust me, you have to respect the process and it will turn out. So I think you're going to feel a little bit more confident after today's lesson. We're going to keep it kind of short, about 15 minutes, so you have one video to watch and not two. But I hope you enjoyed my last two videos and you're ready to move on. So here we go. I'm going to switch you over to picture-in-picture so you can see our eagle here. And this is where we left off. What we did last time I saw you was we made this magical sheet of paper and we built up some graphite. So we just took our pencil and we got it really, really dark. And we took our finger and we rubbed a base coat of gray over the entire eagle that we made. Because if you look at the black and white photograph that I have here, the whole eagle is gray. It's just dark gray value or light gray value or even almost white in certain areas. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to build upon it. What you want to do when you are drawing is layer your values carefully. Value is the darkness and lightness in a work of art. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I don't expect you to have all of the tools, so I'm going to show you how to make some tools that you can use at your house. Now the first one, if we're going to build some value and get a little bit dark here, what we want to do, I know some of you are really kind of irritated with the eye. Like, that eye looks like it's hollow. It doesn't look like. So we're going to start there. So just with your number 2 pencil, get that ready. And I drew a curved line over the top. Our golden eagle has a really dark value over the eye. And then you really can't see much of the eye except I'm going to shade in a little bit here and shade in a little bit here. And it's really kind of like white there. You don't really see too much. So you can kind of go around it a little bit, but get that dark in there. If you want to blend it with your finger so it's not so white, you're good to go. What I want to do with our number 2 pencil is we're going to start to recognize some of these really dark values. And when you shade, you want to shade a certain way so that it doesn't look like a scribble, because the direction that you shade is super important when you are making feathers. Feathers are curved and rounded and fluffy. So you don't want to shade like scribbling up and down. You want to shade in kind of like little ovals. So I will give you some tips on how to do that. So let's go ahead and get started with our shading. Now, if you have one of those really cool pencil sets at home where you have a 6B pencil, a 9B pencil like we talked about last time, use them. If you have a traditional number 2 pencil, use it. Whatever you have, you can still get dark values with a 2. I am just going to use my 6B because that's what we were using in class before we were dismissed. So I'm going to use my 6B pencil and I'm going to do some really dark shading right here because those finger feathers that I was talking about, they're dark. So you can use the tip of your pencil, just kind of like color it in. Now, this does require some patience. And the more patience you have on this, the better this is going to look. Trust me. That is one of the key factors in making artwork. You kind of have to slow down sometimes. Some of you are very, very patient and some of you are not. So you do the best you can with whatever personality type you are. Now, I'm not going to have you sit and watch all me shade every single one, but I'm going to show you how to do a couple. There's my 6B. And hold your pencil whichever way you feel comfortable to get those kind of dark values. I'll show you what it looks like to do with a number 2 pencil. Once again, you can just get really dark values using a number 2. That's totally cool. You just got to press down a little bit harder and make sure you are confident where the value goes, because once you put it down, it is going to be a little bit tricky to erase after you press down so hard. So look, this is a 6B, this is a 6B, this is a 2. So I see it's kind of dark here. I'm just going to use the side of my pencil and shade that in. Now, one of those super cool tools that I have is called a tortillon or a blending stump. And they look like this, right? But to be honest with you, a lot of times kids are like, what is that? It's basically paper that has been rolled up so tightly into like a scroll, and it helps for shading. So if you don't have a tortillon at your house, I have a few. The used ones are better, to be honest with you, because I have value built up. You can just take a little piece of paper and tear it and roll it up as tight as you can, and you can make your own tortillon by doing this. It's nice if you have a pair of scissors that you could trim the edge and make it pointy up here, but if you don't, you can kind of pinch it together with your fingers. You take your magic piece of paper where you have the graphite, and you can see that it's going to pick up some of that graphite, and then you can just blend it. So there you go, homemade tortillon. And the reason we do that is because it gets rid of some of those white spots in there, and it makes a really nice smooth transition from one value to the next. So use whatever you have. It's just a piece of paper. You can even take a little tape to secure it, but it's just paper rolled up. So when I like to keep this broken one to show students, so that's what it is. Like a popsicle or a sucker stick that gets all like wet and you can just peel it away, the layers. That's the exact same thing as what it is. All right, so we're going to move forward. So I want you to finish up these feathers on your own on both sides. Now we're going to do the little feathers in that triangle that's up here, and I want to show you how to do that. Take your 6B pencil, and when you shade, you're going to shade by going in the direction of those little ovals. So now I'm pressing down pretty hard. Look at how I'm holding my pencil. I'm putting pressure on the tip. That's super important. Because if you scribble and go back and forth, you're not going to get that, the look of the feathers, which you really want. You guys are doing so great. I'm so proud of you. I'm missing you every day, but I feel like I can connect with you this way. And it's nice to, hopefully it's nice to hear my voice. And like I said, I am feeling so much joy when you send your pictures in to me. So thank you. For those of you who are doing this at home and you have brothers and sisters, they can draw along with you. Be that big brother or sister to show them how. Or even you can show your parents how to do this. And you know, a lot of parents when they were younger didn't really have art teachers that taught them how to draw. So now you can teach your parents how to draw, and it can be like a really fun family time. So now I'm going across because this area is just kind of like, it does go across. So I'm filling that in. Now you're going to see that tooth of that paper. You see all that kind of like white area in there? That's when your tortillon comes in handy, or your piece of paper that we use, and go around and blend it in. Get rid of those white spaces. They're going to look really, really, really well done after you do that. So, ooh, I love it. Now, beautiful thing. You're like, Mrs. Peters, this is not as dark as the picture. That's when you work in layers. Go back. Add more values. You can even refine those edges and get it darker. You see that? It's already coming along. So sometimes you have to pick up the value multiple times to get that going to make it nice and dark. So keep working on that section, and you're going to same thing to the other part. Now these little feathers right here, these couple like 5 or 6 rounded feathers, you probably have enough on your tortillon or your finger. You use your pinky. You could probably just see that value difference right there. You can blend it right in right there to get it looking really good. Ooh, I like it. And anytime you're like, well, that's too light, it's not dark enough, go take your pencil, just gently put a little bit of value on it, go around the edges, and blend it up again. So you're going to do that to both sides. All right, as far as the feathers here, this is kind of interesting. When you do these feathers, you're going to get dark on the bottom. I'll move my picture, my photograph up here. Can you see both? The bottom parts of these feathers are darker value, and then they get lighter, and they got this kind of cool zigzag pattern. Don't worry about that pattern. darken up the tips. Same thing, go around. You can always go back and refine. And we're going to do the same thing for the tail feathers too. You're going to blend it eventually. So if you go out of the lines, it's okay. Don't worry about that. All right. Nice dark value on the bottom. They don't have to be perfect because we're going to blend it in with our tortillon. Sharpen your pencil as needed. Nice work here. I'm loving your patience. Super good. Now, what I'm going to do is, it's kind of a little bit sloppy right here. I'm going to take my tortillon. Like I said, used ones are better because they're broken in. The tip is all. So the more you use your tortillon or your little piece of paper to blend, better. It's great. Now just take that dark value and build it up. See how you can kind of blend that? Ooh, looking good. Very nice. Same thing. We're just going to keep going and do every feather on both sides this way. So this is what takes a while. And you're like, well, Mrs. Peters, you can't really see the feather edges. You're right. So what you do is you go over the top. So you do your layer, your dark layer, and go over the top. Watch. I'm going to take my pencil and do my J again. Bring it up. So now you can kind of see or like refine those edges of the feather. And it's a little bit of trial and error here where you're going to blend some more, blend the sides that you just brought in, that you refined. And what you're going to do is just kind of blend those up right into here. You'll notice it's a little darker here, then you can kind of go around and build your value. Anytime you need to apply more value, go ahead and get it by using your tortillon on your magic sheet of paper, and you can get that dark value in there and bring it in, or just use your pencil and get it. Now look, your drawing is going to look so good when you get those dark and the lights light. That's what makes it pop. So if this is not dark enough, or these feathers are not dark enough, then you need to go back and do that again a couple times so it's really crispy dark. Because at this point, you have everything laid out the way you want. You don't really need to erase it. So I will probably do that here with my number 2 or my 6B or whatever pencils are going to allow me to get really beautiful, rich blacks. Just be careful. Sometimes your hand gets covered up with this gray on it. So sometimes you can smudge it when you go across. If that's the case, take another piece of paper so you can rest your hand on that paper so you don't smudge it too much. All right, we're almost done with our lesson today. What I'd like you to do for homework is you are going to finish up all these feathers, applying the side of your pencil. Note, see, I'm not using the tip down. I'm using the side. You're going to do the whole right wing, the whole left wing, and the whole tail. And our next lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to do the body and the head, and I'm going to show you how to get those really cool zigzags into the wings to give it a little bit more texture. So you've been doing a really good job. I'm so proud of you. Just keep up the good work at home and keep posting your pictures by attaching it in the assignment section every day. Find a nice quiet spot if you can in your house and sit down and give yourself about 15, 20 minutes, even 10 minutes on a rainy day, and see if you can finish both wings and the tail before our next video, which will be in 3 days, 3 school days. And I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with and how beautiful these rich values are going to be. So keep up the good work. I'm really proud of all my eagles out there and the eagles that you're making. Find a nice spot, put some quiet music on, and try to really, really enjoy yourself here. So the next time you see my eagle, I'm going to do my homework, and I'm going to finish up all my feathers. So have a great week. See you in a couple days. Keep going, my wonderful artists. Bye.